Hello everyone! So I think I'm just checking that I am live in the right place. I'm going to shut this door before we begin, but let me just make sure that you guys can hear and see me. So anyone that is hopping on and watching along live, please come and say hello. I'm going to introduce myself in just a moment and we're going to start talking about helping you guys to identify the fears that you have, being able to release those fears and cultivate the confidence that you need to go ahead and create the courses that you want to create. But before I jump into all of that, I want to know who's here with me now, and I want to know how everyone's doing today. Super important, because mindset is with us always, never leaves us. Our minds are part of us, our bodies are part of us, our actions and our dreams and our desires are part of us. And so how you're feeling today and how you're feeling tomorrow and how you're feeling next week is super important, because ultimately the way you feel impacts what you do, what you create from this day forward. So come and say hi to me, let me know you're here, give me a wave, and let me know how you're doing today. Now, I'm baking today, it's really hot where I am, so I'm over in the UK and it is boiling and this room is burning, and I was going to put the fan on and then I was like, no, it's too noisy and you guys won't be able to hear me. So for some reason I can't see the comments on here, so let me just bring it up on my phone so I can see your guys' comments, because I want to be able to interact with you all. And what I'm going to talk you through today, for those of you who are here live, I would love for you to share. There we go, brilliant. Put it up on my phone. Let me see if I can see the comments. I can't sound off because nobody else wants to hear that echo back at them. Right. Is anyone here? If you're here, come and say hi. Let me know you're there, and I'll catch up with you. Okay, and then if you're watching on replay later on, there we go. My computer's catching up with me now as well. I hope I wasn't freezing. Let me know if I'm freezing for anyone, if it's not clear for anyone who's watching. If I am freezing or you can't hear me or the signal's really poor, please let me know. It's not showing up on my phone, so I feel like I might be freezing. Oh no, that's not good. Oh, I think I might be freezing. I don't think my signal is working very well, which is a little bit frustrating. Amy can see me. Oh, Amy's saying hi. Amy, just let me know if you can hear me clearly, see me clearly. Let me know that I'm coming loud, through and clear. I don't want to start. If not, if I'm not loud and clear, I might have to switch to a different device. Oh, you can see me and hear me. Great, it's just my phone then that's not playing ball. Fabulous. I can see your comments here now as well, so I can turn my phone off and then that will stop distracting me. Brilliant. Okay, awesome. Let's start. Okay, wonderful. So, hello everyone. I'm sorry about that. It's technical time. That's what we have Amanda for. She is our tech queen. So I want to first introduce myself. So my name is Amber Sherelle. I am a female empowerment coach and an EFT master practitioner, and I'm also the founder of the Limitless Mum Academy, which is a 12-month success mindset and personal development program. And so I know a little bit about course creation because I've created my own courses. Obviously the academy is all built online as well. So I'm familiar with everything that you guys are looking to do, already trying to do, or wanting to learn how to do as course creation entrepreneurs, and building courses that actually sell, that are easy and serviceable for your clients and customers to actually make their way through and to learn from and engage with, and also how to make that process easier for you. And one of the biggest things that we probably know, and I know Amanda did a brilliant live in the group on mindset this morning, But one thing that can really hold us back from creating the courses that we really want to create and deliver and that cause impact in the world is our mindset. And so I want to come and talk to you guys today about one of the biggest limiting emotions that we have that can stop us from creating those epic courses. So for those of you who are watching, I'd love to know what it is that you're looking to create or what ideas you have. Where are you at in your stage of course creation? Are you already building something? Do you have ideas about what you want to build but don't know how to do it yet? Where are you guys at? What are your ideas? I'd love to hear more about that and what you're looking to learn. And then also, whilst you're listening, if any of your own, as we're going through this, if anything resonates with you, pop it in the chat so we can talk about it. If you have any fears that are coming up for you that you already know are holding you back, pop them in the chat. Let's deal with those today. Let's begin releasing those. So, as I said, I am a success mindset coach. And I have my own long history with fear and anxiety. And I'm not going to go into that entire story because it doesn't really fit what you're trying to do here. But I want you to understand that I battled with anxiety, a high level of anxiety and fear, for months on end that kept me trapped inside my apartment. And the tools and strategies that I now use and the things that I'm going to teach you inside this event and this workshop today in this live. Hey, glad you made it, Fleur. Thank you for joining us. I hope I pronounced your name right. Forgive me if that was incorrect. Hi, Hayley. Oh, brilliant. There's more people hopping on. Don't worry, you haven't missed much because we had a bit of a tech issue in the beginning and I wasn't sure if anyone could hear me or see me, so it's okay. You made it. So I had this fear, this level of anxiety around all sorts of things, dreams, ambitions, leaving my apartment, all sorts of wonderful things. And the tools that I'm going to share with you today and the things that I'm going to talk about today are the tools that helped me at that point in time in my life as well. But fast forward to me doing what I do now and creating the courses that I've created in the past year or so. I joined a course, and in that process, some of the other people that were going through this business academy with me, one of the things that really held them back the most was fear. And it was something that I'd already conquered so long ago that I already had the tools in place to know that going live wasn't going to fill me with fear. That I was going to be the first one to go live and do the task that we had to do during this course. Promoting myself, putting myself out there, advertising my course, because beyond just creating the course itself, it's all of the marketing that goes behind it. And now if any part of that right now, talking about creating, advertising, marketing, selling, any of that is filling you with fear, or even just the thought of having to do that scares you, raise your hand and let me know in the comments, and I guarantee you will not be the only one. You truly will not be alone in that. And so I recognised that actually one of the biggest things that holds us back is not the fear itself, but what's underneath that. So the self-belief, the thinking, am I good enough? What will people think of me? I'm really sorry, I have a 2-year-old that's made her way up the stairs because she's just woken up from a nap. And I'm a single mum of 3, so I am just going to go and take her back downstairs to my grandmother so that she can get settled, so she can go back to sleep. Just give me one moment. Sorry guys, so sorry. You won't be able to hear me otherwise. Come on. Let me pretend to. Oh my goodness, sorry ladies. The tad scary, Fleur says. A tad scary. So sorry about that. I have settled her downstairs. We shouldn't be interrupted again. If any of you have children and wonder how you're going to build courses with children, I tell you it's entirely possible, but sometimes things like that do happen too. So, knowing what you want to build, knowing what you want to create, if you know what you want to build and create, that's fabulous. If you're not sure yet, this still applies to you. Because sometimes, even in trying to get the idea of what would I actually build, sometimes even that, the thoughts, the ideas that come to us, we stop ourselves from even building what we want to build, we stop ourselves from even imagining what's possible for us out of fear that it wouldn't be good enough, or that's not the right thing, or nobody would want to buy that, right? And trust me, I had all of those fears when I first started building courses. It's not that I'm immune from fear, it's just that I know how to overcome that. So once you've actually set your intention to become a course creator, to become an entrepreneur, you need to figure out what's actually holding you back, what's stopping you from getting there. Tad scary at doing live videos. Okay, so we can talk about that, because live videos are fun. It's just a conversation. I love live videos because it means I get to interact with people, and I really enjoy interacting with people, but live's not always necessary. But figuring out what's holding you back, so what's stopping you, maybe for Fleur it's live videos, what's actually stopping you from getting your course off the ground, from getting started, from finding out and learning what you need to do to actually build a course and understand the tech behind it. Maybe that's one of your fears, which you've got the amazing Amanda to help you with. Perhaps there's a fear of failure, sometimes even a fear of success. There might be fears around time. Have I got enough of it? There might be fears about your confidence going live, parental responsibilities, how it'll impact your kids, how will it impact your husband, how will it impact your family, your friends, what will they say, what will they think about you? Maybe it's lack of opportunities, the lack of know-how. Whatever it is that's holding you back, the list can be absolutely endless. And each of these limitations, because they're holding you back, they're limiting you, are changeable in one way or another. And a lot of the time, it only requires us to challenge and reframe our subconscious beliefs. But every now and again, when I speak to people, some of my clients before they became my clients, and I say to you, what's holding you back? And I say, well, nothing's holding me back. And I'm like, oh, great, that's awesome, because I don't want people to be held back, right? Like, I want people to be able to go after what they want. That's the biggest thing for me, especially for mums. I want you to all be able to go after what you want. So I'm always excited to find out where they are on their journey, knowing that if there's absolutely nothing holding them back, then success is absolutely inevitable, right? Must be predetermined, must be just around the corner for them. And so I know that there's something really good coming. So I'll ask, because I'm curious and I like to celebrate other people's wins. So what are you doing? What are you doing? What's next? What's the next step in the plan? When are you going to have, for you guys, for course creators, when are you going to have this course up and running? When can I take a look at it? And so they'll reel off a really nice plan. They've got all these ideas organised, and I'm getting really excited because it sounds great and I want to see what they create. I love seeing people's creations. So I'm like, amazing, have you started yet? When is this going to be ready for me? When are we going to be able to see this? And 99.9% of the time, there is one of two responses. It's either, yes, I've started, I'm building it, but following loads of reasons why it's not where they want it to be yet, or no, not yet, but I do plan to when. If you are one of those people that find yourself saying but or when, listen to what follows after that, because what follows after each of these statements is usually the way you can identify the limitation and the fear that's holding you back. So go ahead now. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys who are watching to do this for me. If I was to ask you, what's your plan and have you started on it yet? What follows that I'm doing all the stuff but, or I haven't begun yet, but I will when? What follows those sentences? Have a think about what follows that for you. What's the but, or what's the when? When will you create that course? And any time you recognize, I'm going to see what you guys are typing in a minute, and as you're typing that, I just want you to note that any time you recognize that you're not making progress, perhaps you start building a course and you stop, or you're thinking about joining a course to teach you course creation course with Amanda, hopefully. You're thinking about doing that, but you something's stopping you, something's holding you back, you're putting it off, you're procrastinating on it, you're wondering what if, you're sitting in those buts, or you're sitting in those, well, I'll do that when. Okay, it's not necessarily that course. It's not even necessarily a course. It might be, I'll record the next video for my course when. I'll start scripting out my course, or I've started scripting out my course, but the ideas aren't flowing to me. Or, but I haven't found enough time. Or, but I'm not sure I'm saying the right things. So I'm not sure if anyone's commenting, so I can't see any more comments coming up, so I'm going to move on, but I want you guys to think about that. I want you to think about what follows the but and the when. And if you are one of the people that says, well, there is absolutely nothing holding me back, I'm ready to do this, great, go and do it. But you see, the truth is, when you actually have zero limitations, zero fears, there's nothing standing in your way, externally or internally, then you are completely limitless. And when you are completely limitless, what you want to create happens easily, like really easily. I don't mean that there's no bumps in the road, I don't mean that there aren't problems, but you overcome them. Because you just know, you believe in yourself, you can seek out any information you need, you can find the resources or the people that you need to help you overcome whatever's in your way, and it just happens easier and quicker. And in fact, I'd wager to say that if there is nothing at all standing in your way, you've got no fears at all, then you'd already have what you want. Or at the very least, be right at the pinnacle of that course being real for you, that course being ready, that course being available to everybody that you want it to be available to. And it's just a matter of putting the pieces together. So Fleur says, yes, I started creating it, but I'm not sure if it's right. I worry if I'm putting it together properly, and I keep researching and procrastinating a little. So Fleur, what happens? Okay, because research is a beautiful way. Research is a beautiful way. We all need to research. Don't get me wrong. But here's what happens. We keep researching and researching and researching and saying we don't have enough information yet. I'm not sure that I've got everything that I need yet. I'm not sure that it's all. You know, like people that get paid to do scientific research spend their entire lives researching because there is no end. There's always more information that you can gather. Research is a beautiful procrastination tool. And this is what I encourage people to do. Don't ignore the research. Sometimes it's really important to do. Build and research at the same time, release and research, and then improve. So one of the very first courses I released, it was an amazing course, it was full of great content. Had I put it together perfectly? Probably not. Was the order exactly right? Looking back, there was definitely things that I would have changed around, even in the middle of the course. I'm pretty sure in that first course that I created, and the ladies who did this course will remember this, I don't know if any of them are in this group, but that very first course that I created, I got 6 weeks in, it was a 12-week course, and I said, guys, we're not going to do this module next, I'm going to shift that module to the end and we're going to bring this module forward. You can do that. You're the course creator, you're the business owner, you're the expert, the person who's sharing their knowledge, and you get to change, tweak, and amend as you go. So I always encourage you to put out there what you've got. Build it. Don't keep rewriting, don't keep rechecking, I mean spell checking, all of those things, but don't keep going back over what's already been done. Keep moving forwards. This is a mindset thing as well. We very easily allow ourselves stop making progress because of this fear, when what we really need to do is just put what we've got out there. So, sorry, I'm just bringing that back to where I was going with this as well, Fleur. She said, I'm not sure if it's right, and I worry if I put it in. I want you to go, further and deeper into this. What happens if it's not put together properly? What's the worst case scenario? And we're going to come and talk about worst case scenario in a minute, but Flora, I want you to have to think about that. What's the worst case scenario? If you put out a course into the atmosphere, into the universe, into the online world, wherever you're promoting your courses, I'm presuming it's an online course, wherever you are creating and putting that course out, what happens if it's not put together properly the first time you release it and launch it? What's worst case scenario? Go there. What are you afraid of? What are you really afraid of? So I'm just going back to my notes here. Okay. So I say it's just a matter of putting all the pieces together. If you're at that pinnacle, there's nothing holding you back, there isn't any fear, then you just put stuff together and it just happen. So I have a brilliant example of this. One of my clients who wanted to actually run a marathon, that was her big dream, that was her big goal, that was her big desire. She cleared out all the limitations. Okay, her mindset, childcare obstacles. She got over her fears around travel. Excuse me, what happened there? She figured out her health and fitness, because obviously that's really important. She has done everything, she put everything in place, she is ready to run, yet she still hasn't ran the marathon. Why? Well, because the date was set for 2 weeks' time. The limitation was just a waiting game. The limitation was time or schedule. She couldn't run that marathon distance at that moment in time, even if she chose to. Okay? She couldn't, because she had to wait for the event. And I want you to understand something. She'd chosen to keep that limitation in place. And that's fine, but it's a limitation nonetheless. And we choose to keep our fears there when we choose not to address them, when we allow ourselves to hide them underneath procrastination, when we allow ourselves to hide them under inaction, when we allow ourselves to hide them under protecting ourselves, or not taking risk, or putting it off until later, not under procrastination, but because it's better for me. It will be better if I don't try and do that now because I've got so much on my plate at the moment, for example. Well, okay, but I want you to note that that's a choice. I want you to note that every time you allow a fear, something you're afraid of, to go unacknowledged and to go unchallenged, then you have accepted that. And that's a very different circumstance to perhaps a woman who dreams of being a professional artist. Okay? Or let's say she dreams of being a professional multi-course creator. Or she wants to sell her courses for a small fortune. And so she creates every single day with the plan of having her first course to release into the world. She has that plan in place. She does spend time creating that course, just like Fleur's saying, I'm creating it, I'm doing the work, I'm doing that. And yet, the course hasn't actually been launched yet. Even though the course is ready, it's built, for the most part, everything's there. All the content's there, there might need some tweaks doing, but they could all be done within a few days. Why? Because you don't believe it's good enough. She doesn't believe the course is good enough. She's worried that her skills, her knowledge isn't enough, that the clients will be, as Fleur says, and I was going to bring this up, disappointed. And therefore, she never actually releases that course, that amazing knowledge that somebody else out there in the world is looking for, seeking, needing, wanting, desiring to move forward in their own lives, to do something different in their own lives. And there you are, withholding that. Oh my gosh, guys, recognize that the knowledge you have is powerful for somebody else. And there you are, withholding it from that person, okay? Because of all of these fears underneath, all of these limitations. So I want you to really take some time to ask yourself, not only what's holding you back, as like Fleur said, I worry that I'm putting it together properly. And sorry, Fleur, I'm using you as an example just because you've actually responded, okay? But it's good for you too, because it means you're going to get more out of this, because I'm going to show you how to release this, okay? And I asked you to go deeper, and you came back that the client would be disappointed, or could be. you haven't really given the client, first of all, I just want to mindset wise, you haven't really given your client a chance or an opportunity to decide whether they're disappointed or not. You don't even know what they're looking for exactly until you start getting feedback on what you've already created. So you are preempting something. And so here is my first tip to every single one of you. If you are thinking about what is going to happen in the future, you are preempting the unknown, because there are an unlimited amount of possibilities for each and every one of us to happen from this point forward. I can't even tell you what's going to happen 3 seconds from now. I couldn't tell you that my daughter was about to walk up the stairs 3 seconds before it happened, even a second before it happened. I had no idea. Okay? We can try and predict. We can have some vague idea. We have these patterns that happen in our lives. We really don't actually know, and especially when it comes to other people, to clients, to people that might want to buy or purchase from you, we really actually have no idea what they want, what they need, what they might be thinking at all. So first of all, take yourself out of other people's minds and focus on your own mind. Take yourself, as much as possible, out of the future and focus on the present. And to do that, think about what's the next right step. Not what's tomorrow's step, what's next week's step, next month's step. What's the next right thing that I need to do to get this course created and launched? Just the next step. And then focus on doing that. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is that the client will be disappointed. What evidence is there to support that? And then I want you to ask yourself, what do you want instead of the client being disappointed? And whatever your fear is, when you've dug a little bit deeper, I want you to ask you, well, what do you want instead of that? What do you want instead? The client to be fulfilled, excited. Great. So focus on creating something that makes your client fulfilled and excited. You see, the shift is entirely different. If you're focusing on will they be disappointed this entire time, thinking about them being disappointed, you're going to be creating content from a place of fear, which means, one, your content never gets out there, but even if it does get out there, you've spent the whole time building it in the wrong energy. When you build it from a place of excitement, knowing and trusting in your knowledge, trusting that you know your topic. What you don't know, you can find out, which you're already doing with your research. But you've done your research, and you're putting this stuff into the course. So do so in the mind of, is this going to transform this client's life? Is this the information they need? And the way that you know this for sure is it the information you needed before you had this knowledge? If the answer to that yes, then there's someone out there who needs this information, and they will not be disappointed when they receive it. And even when it's something that they perhaps already knew, guess what? We all need reminders all the time about things that we once knew. Okay, so whatever your fear is, dig deep and ask yourself, what is the evidence supporting this? What do I want instead? And what's the evidence out there supporting that? So go through your content. Ask yourself, at some point in time, did I know this stuff? No. How did I feel when I found out about this stuff? Amazing. Great. Was it good for me? Do I like it when I hear reminders about the things that I do already know? Does it resonate for me? Does it strengthen those neurological connections that I form each time I learn something new, and then each time I read about it again, that neurological connection gets solidified for me, therefore it makes me feel good because I know that I'm on the right path, right? But that's what your client receives when they read your content, when they get to your course creation. We really overthink a lot of things. And instead of looking at what your client is going to experience, because you can't predict that, how would you feel if you received your course? Taking out the self-judgment, taking out the lack of self-belief, objectively taking a look at what you are creating And if you haven't started creating yet, taking a look at your ideas and asking yourself, the me, before I had the knowledge about what I'm going to create, the me who didn't know about this topic at all back then. So, for example, my program is a success mindset and personal development. The me, before I even had a clue about success mindset, what did I need back then? I want to deliver a good course that my clients enjoy and benefit from, and it will transform them. So how did that knowledge that you are sharing with the world, the information that you have gathered, the course content that you're putting out there, how did it transform you? Because it did, otherwise you wouldn't be creating a course about it. At some level, it transformed you, or it helped you move forward. It did something, it changed your life obtaining this knowledge, and that's why you're creating a course about it. It may not have been a massive change, I'm not talking about significance. If you're doing a course, you know, we can create courses on all sorts of things, right? But I'm not talking about necessarily that it was something that revolutionized and shook the entire world and changed your entire life. I'm talking about the small nuances. When we learn a new bit of information, when we have that one new insight. So I can give you an example of this, because I think this is important. This has gone a little bit off topic of what I wanted to talk about, but it is still very much on topic. I want you guys to start seeing how your creations can change the lives of other people. And in doing that, you can release this fear of not having the impact that you want. Because sometimes it can be as simple as 3 words out of an entire course. So I want to talk to you about an experience I had, the course that I did. It was called the 7 Keys of Learning. It was all to do with education, and I was looking in, at the time I was homeschooling, home editing my children, and so I took this course to just learn a little bit more about child development. And in the process of this course, it was called Thomas Jefferson Education. The course was written by Oliver and Rachel DeMille, and it was called the 7 Keys of Teaching. And one of the principles from Thomas Jefferson Education, well, there's two principles. One of them was you, not me. Sorry, you, not them. And the other was inspire, not require. Both of those principles, just those short phrases, you, not them, inspire, not require. To be honest, the rest of the 7 keys of that course, I went through the entire course, I loved it, it was amazing, there were little bits that I remember, but the things that stood out to me most were those 2 phrases. And it was those 2 phrases that completely changed the way that I not only taught my children, but parented from. And it completely changed the way that I was living my life, because that phrase, you, not them, and inspire, not require, led me to thinking about, how do I follow my own dreams? Am I showing my children what I want them to believe, which is anything is possible for them? Am I living that in truth? Am I inspiring them through what they see and observe? Right? And it's just those 3 words. Those 2 phrases, each of them 3, 4 words. So I've got enough person. What do you need? No. In a minute. I'll be with you in a minute. Okay? Can you go back to the bedroom and I will be there in a moment when I'm done? Thank you. Good boy. So sometimes your content will not be, and I'm sure when Rachel and Oliver DeMille, if they thought that they could just use those 3 words to change and revolutionize someone's life, and it really did change my life in a big way, and it changed my children's lives in a big way, gosh, they could have just plastered those all over Facebook, job done. No, they built an entire program, and there was far more to it than that. They had no idea that those 3 words would have such a great impact, and it wasn't just an impact on me, it's something that's echoed throughout the whole Thomas Jefferson Education community. But they didn't know at the time that those 3 little words could have such a great impact. You have to share the knowledge that you have with somebody. Somebody needs what you have to deliver in whatever form you've created it already. However you are creating it is completely right for them. You will find people that will learn so much from things that you didn't even think were going to be the important parts of your course. And I can't count the number of times people have come back to me and said that. Hi Katya, nice to see you. So you will find people who come back to you after you put your course out into the ethos, out into the world. You will find people that say to you, yeah, that thing that you said about whatever it is, I don't know what you're delivering for, so I can't even give an example around what your course is, but that thing that you said to me on this topic, that one sentence you said, that just completely changed the whole way I view the world. And you'll be like, oh, I didn't even think about that. That wasn't even intentional. So don't overthink your content. Put in there the knowledge that you know is relevant, that you know will have an impact because it's impacted you. And the rest will all happen by chance. No matter how much you plan and prepare. I guess that's kind of what I'm saying. So anyway, so I want you to, like I say, identify those limitations, dig deeper. How do you feel in that worst case scenario? So in that scenario, that worst fear, the worst thing that could possibly happen that is holding you back, that fear that you have, I want you to go all the way back and visualize this. And anytime you have a fear crop up, I want you to do this. 2 reasons. I want you to do 2 things. The first one, I want you to go and visualize the worst case scenario. And this is scary. I'm asking you to actually go there. I'm daring you. Most mindset coaches will tell you only focus on the positive. Well, not most, but a lot of them will tell you just to focus on the positive. No, first I want you to go to the fear. I want you to acknowledge that it's there. I want you to dig deep into what that actually is without allowing yourself to become overwhelmed by it. Note it. And I want you to do this really clinically so it doesn't become an emotional overwhelm. It's like clinically, I'm just clinically picking apart what my fear is. I want to know the ins and out of what I'm afraid of so I can go ahead and squash it on its head. Child nutrition and healthy eating, beautiful. Beautiful. So you go and get a journal, a piece of paper, I don't care if it's the back of a shopping receipt, whatever you can find, and I just want you to write out everything about the worst case scenario of what you're afraid of. And then once you've got that worst case scenario, I want you to ask yourself one question. How would I come back from this? If this actually happened, what would I do? How would I get over this? How would I come back from this? If I put a course out there and it didn't sell, how would I come back from that? If I invested time and energy and 2 people bought and 1 person asked for a refund, how would I come back from that? If I put something out there and people laughed at me, how would I come back from that? If I put something out there and my family were mad at me, how would you come back from that? You see, when you know that even in the worst case scenario, you'd recover, you'd get through it, I'm strong enough to overcome absolutely anything. When you can go there and have a plan of how you'd get back, then you've taken out all of the risk for a start. Because it really doesn't matter. Because you know that no matter what happened, worst case scenario, you'd be okay. It would all work out for the best. You'd be able to get back to where you are or move on or move forward or whatever it is. You know, when we're talking about creating a course, we're not even talking about moving your life across the world. We're not talking about, I know it's scary, but I'm just putting this into perspective, creating a course and putting it out there, and for it not to have to take traction if that's what you're afraid of. What's the worst case? What's the worst thing that can happen? You end up with a course that you've created, you've done something amazing, achieved something amazing, you can be really proud of that and you can build upon it, tweak it, change it, remarket it, learn what you need to learn to make it better and put it back out there again. What truly happens? Okay, how does that affect you? So go to that worst case scenario. Build a plan for how you come back from that. And if you go to that worst case scenario and you say, I really couldn't come back from that, I really could not come back from that, then what could you come back from? What is the place that you could come back from? So work your way back from there. Where would be a safe place for me to know that I could come back from? And then there you go. You have your breaking point. You have the point where you say, this is enough for me. I can't come back from anything more than this. So if I got to this stage, then that's when I'd stop. Because I couldn't come back. That's where I can come back from, but I can't come back from further than that. But most of the time, most of us can find a way to come back from pretty much anything that could come our way. And then I want you to recognize something. I want you to screw up that worst case scenario, screw up the plan to come back from that, and recognize that the chances of that happening are like 0.0000001%. Because everything that you're learning, all of the research that you're doing, all of the time you're putting into creating, all of your brilliant knowledge and wisdom, all of the tech stuff that you're going to learn to put this course out there, is going to ensure that that worst case scenario is never going to happen. You're in the right places, learning the right things, doing the right things. So you now have a plan to come back from worst case scenario, and you now also know that 0.00001% chance of that actually happening. So your confidence is already increased, okay? Your confidence is already boosted. But what else do we need? So there's lots of things we can do. I use EFT, NLP, hypnotherapy to go deep and have a look at some of the root causes of these fears. Because these fears are often rooted in our experiences, our previous experiences. And I know that Amanda did a training in the group this morning around mindset, so I don't want to go too deep into our subconscious mind because I believe she covered some of that this morning with you guys. So I don't want to recover that. But I will just say this, your subconscious mind, okay, is a very, 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 very powerful thing. And those instances in your past where somebody has been disappointed with you, or you've built something and you didn't think that it was up to scratch, or your self-belief or your confidence was knocked in one way, shape or another, creates an energetic footprint that lives within your body. So that when you again go out and try something new, try to build something new, your body remembers that. And it floods back all the memories and all the reasons and all the feelings and all the emotions physically in your body, chemically, electrically, but also visually. Okay, you hear it, you think it, you speak it. These patterns start repeating themselves in your actual actions and behaviour. Okay, because your subconscious mind is trying to protect you. It's like, hey, we did this before, remember? Or we went somewhere similar like this, or you can't possibly do that because remember this time when? Right? But guess what? It's not true. It's just your subconscious mind working and operating on the beliefs that it holds from time past, from all of these events and happenings in your past. And that awareness alone can help you take that leap towards going, oh, it was true then, but it's not true now. So I want you to go and also, so now that you know what the fear is, now that you know you're coming back, I know I'm giving you a lot of tips here. Now you know how you're going to come back from that. Now you know that that's not likely to happen at all because you're arming yourself with everything that you need to know. You feel our confidence increasing. Now you know that a lot of your conditioning comes from your past and it's programmed. And that might be scary because you think, well, how do I overcome that? Well, how do you overcome that is first acknowledging them. So again, get out a journal. What are the stories that you've been told, experienced throughout your life around disappointment or being disappointed or the fear that you have, whatever that fear is? What are the stories that you heard as a child growing up? What experiences have you had? And usually going back to childhood, remember those first 0 to 7 years of childhood is when your subconscious mind is being formed and created. We can hold beliefs that happen later on, but usually a lot of it stems from those really early years. So go back. What do you remember hearing? What do you believe about quality courses, quality education? What does an online course should look like, must have? What do satisfied clients look like? Go back and have a look. Check in with some of those ideas. Are any of those ideas, beliefs, old experiences, old stories, those old paradigms, are they holding you back? Are they limiting you? Identify them. Just figure out if there's anything sitting there. And if there is, old stories, old beliefs, old situations, old experiences, acknowledge them and recognize that they're old. That's your first job. Recognize that that's not you anymore. That's not you now. That's not this situation. That's past. It's not present. There's nothing to say that that's going to happen again or that that's actually true. And then recognize that all of the beliefs that you store there, all of those experiences, none of them are actually true. They're just thoughts that you persist in thinking over and over and over again that affect the way that you act. And so the next key to this is to choose new thoughts. If you want to experience and do something differently, then you need to begin to think differently. And so we don't have time in this live to necessarily go through releasing those beliefs. We can do that through these methods. But what we can do is we can start choosing an alternative thought. So instead of that story, that belief that you hold, what's underneath that? I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I'm not capable enough. I'm not knowledgeable enough. I don't know enough. Who am I to teach this thing? All of those things that we hear ourselves say. Okay, note those down. What's coming up for you? What are the stories? What are the paradigms that are holding you in this position? Note them down. And then flip them. What do you need to believe to be true instead to help you move forward? What do you need to believe to be true instead? So, for example, if you believe that I do not have enough knowledge, I'm not knowledgeable enough, what do you need to believe instead? That I have enough knowledge to help somebody. That I have all the knowledge I need to build out this course. Okay, and sometimes saying that, guess what happens? This inner critic goes, no, you don't. Right? Who's experienced that? They've used positive affirmations before. I am wealthy. No, I'm not. I am happy. Not really, am I? And that's what the inner critic does, right? You say an affirmation, a positive statement that your subconscious mind doesn't believe, and your inner critic comes out and says, but no, it's not true. Just reconfirming that it's not true. So I want to teach you something even more powerful. This is the last thing that I'm going to share with you today. And then I am going to teach you how to borrow confidence and cultivate confidence from previous events. And then we're going to leave it there. So, hands up if you have heard of not affirmations, but afformations. Who here has heard of afformations? If you're watching on replay later on, let me know. Because afformations are one of the most powerful things that we can use. Anybody heard of afformations? And whilst you're doing that, I'm just going to speak to my son whilst I'm waiting for you guys to let me know. And if you haven't heard of affirmations, just let me know. No, not me. So I know that I'm not speaking to a blank screen. Is it this that you want? Do you want to just take it then? Take it. Amanda's like, yes, my inner consciousness sucks sometimes. Oh, we all have one. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing. Really good at keeping us safe, and I like to thank my inner consciousness. Just thank it. But it also can hinder us massively. Massively. So if you haven't heard of affirmations, that's fine. So affirmations are, and there's a book titled Affirmations, because you'll see why in a minute. I can't remember for the life of me who wrote the book now. Why has his name gone straight out of my head? I will paste the book into the comments after this live because his name has completely got out of my head, and I'm aware that we're heading towards the end of our time, and I don't want to keep you all guys for ages because I'm sure you've all got things to do. So I will copy and paste the book into the comments later on. But anyway, affirmations are really powerful because what does your subconscious mind do? So if I say to you now, why do elephants never forget? What happens? Why do elephants never forget? You start searching for the answer, right? You're like, oh, why do elephants never forget? Why is that a thing? If I said to you, why is the sky blue? You're going to start looking for the information that you know somewhere in your mind, all those neurological connections that you have built for why the sky is blue. And so, what does that do? You're seeking out the evidence. You don't start going, well, the sky isn't blue, unless you actually know the science behind why the sky appears to be blue. But that's usually not the first thought that comes to your head, or elephants never forget. You don't start going, well, elephants do forget things. You start actually just thinking about, well, why is that true? And this is because questions are really powerful. Our subconscious mind is built to seek the evidence of what we ask it to look for. So we ask it a question, it goes to find the answers. So instead of sitting there and going, well, I am knowledgeable, I want you to change it to a question. How did I become so knowledgeable on this subject? Want to be a powerful entrepreneur or a wealthy entrepreneur? How did I become so wealthy? How did I create such a successful business? How did I sell so many wonderful courses? How do I impact my clients? And what this does is you suddenly, even if you're not consciously aware of the answers, you're not consciously answering these questions. I'm not asking you to ask these questions and then sit pondering on them. I just want you to ask them out loud. Just like you would with an affirmation where you stand there and go, they tie a knot in their trunk. They tie a knot in their trunk. Is that what came to mind? Oh my gosh, you're gonna have to fill me in there on that night. That neurological connection somewhere that has just made my day. That's brilliant. Thank you for that. That's awesome. They tie a knot in their trunk. That's brilliant. Awesome. Yeah. So they. Okay, just all I've got now in my mind, and this is why the subconscious is such a powerful thing, right? All I've got now in my mind is a picture of elephants tying knots in their trunks. Brilliant. Love it. Wow, powerful. But yeah, so ask yourself, you know, I am wealthy. Well, if you haven't got a bank account that reflects the money that you want to see from the courses that you're creating and selling or from your business as an entrepreneur, and it's not coming yet, and you go, I am wealthy, your inner critic goes, no, you're not. Your bank account is at zero. It's at minus 500 right now. You're in your overdraft. You're not wealthy. Well, flip that around and say, how did I become so wealthy? Because your mind is like, oh yeah, how did I do that? How did I become so wealthy? I'm wealthy? Right? And it starts thinking about the ways in which you possibly became wealthy. Even though you're not wealthy yet, your mind is looking for the evidence to tell you why you are wealthy and to tell you how you get there. And before you know it, you're creating this clear path for your subconscious mind. So all of those fears that you have, once you've dug deep enough to find out what the root of those are, what's the underlying belief that you're holding on to, what's behind those fears, and then you start choosing what you need to believe instead to be true. It's an old wives' tale. It's not one that I know. Oh, now I feel silly. I'm gonna have to. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's really cool. So, and there we go. Fleur, you're teaching me something right here, right now. This is what course creation is. In fact, you could even put a course together about old wives' tales and myths. I'm not saying you would or could, but I'm just saying that's a possibility. There's all sorts of things that people can build courses on. So going back to mindset and going back to affirmations. And it's not just how did I become wealthy? Why am I so happy? Why am I a successful course creator? Why do my clients love my courses? Okay, you don't need to answer these questions consciously. You can if you want to. If an idea comes to your head as you say that and it comes up and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to capture that, capture it if you want to. But I'm not asking you to consciously think about this. I'm just asking you to give your subconscious mind a new direction away from this thing that we don't want, this old belief, this old disempowering, limiting thought, emotion, fear, and shifting you to focusing on where you're going, on what you're creating, and why you're creating it. So, what do you want? Fleur said, and I want you all to think about this, what do you want your courses to be? What value, other than the content of what you're delivering? Okay, you know your content, you know what generally, if you have a course idea, you know what the idea is, you know what you kind of want to create. You may already be creating it like Fleur is, but what is it that you want to deliver to your clients? So Fleur said she wants them to have, I can't remember exactly her exact words, just going back, a good course that my clients enjoy and benefit from, and it will transform them. She's like, I would love my course. Love that. I would love my course. So Fleur, it's ready. You would love it. They'll love it. But you might want a good course. You want a high value course. You might want to deliver something that is highly technical. So you're looking at something that goes really in deep with all of the technical details. Or you might be delivering something that is simplified and easy for everybody to understand. I mean, it completely depends on who your ideal client avatar is, right? So think about what are the qualities of this course that you are creating, that you are delivering. And so when you start using the affirmation process, what are the fears behind not being able to deliver that? Why are you afraid that you're not able to do that? So what are the fears behind those qualities that are stopping you from taking action, stopping you from putting this out there, that you're worried that you're not achieving or not succeeding at? Go deep, figure out the fear, dig deeper. I know I'm repeating myself, but dig deeper. Figure out what's under there, figure out the core belief. Switch it to what you need to believe instead. And then find the affirmation that supports that. And when you start doing that regularly, every single day, every single time that fear crops up, you start to see a clear path emerge from you. You start to feel more confident about what you're creating. You start to feel and experience an entire shift in your being. You're no longer afraid of what you're moving away from, what you don't want. You're suddenly excited about where you're headed, where you're moving towards. Because your subconscious mind is doing all of the work for you behind in the scenes, seeking out the evidence. And so the very last thing I want to leave you with before I go is the ability to cultivate confidence. And we're going to do this using one of my very, very favourite things, one of my favourite tools called EFT, which is Emotional Freedom Technique. And I'm not going to go in and tell you what that is or how it works. You're just going to have to trust me for today because we don't have time. I know some of you guys in here have already experienced EFT and you've done some EFT work with me. Some of you haven't, and that's fine. If you want to know more about EFT, you can come and message me afterwards and I can tell you a bit more about what it is. But I want to show you guys how to cultivate confidence. So go ahead now and close your eyes. And I want you to do this with me and experience it. If you're watching live on the replay, just experience this with me. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. And again, in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I wanted you to tune in now to that big level of fear that you have. That number one fear that you're worried about when it comes to creating a course. Take a moment to tune into that. I'm going to be silent and let you do that just for a few seconds. Tune into that fear. What are you afraid of? Notice what thoughts come to mind and how you feel that and where you feel it in your body. And I want you to rate that level of fear, the intensity of that fear, on a scale from 0 to 10. 0 being, I don't have any fear right now. Don't even know what you're talking about. I'm not afraid to create my course. I'm doing it. It's going out there tomorrow. It's all in the world. To 10, this is the most scared I have ever been in my life. And I hope nobody's at that level of fear. But so 0 being no fear at all, 10 being the worst fear you've ever experienced. Go ahead and rate that. Pop it in the comments if you want to. But for time's sake, I'm going to keep moving. But do pop it in the comments for us. If you're watching on replay, pop your rating in the comments. So now, connecting with that level of fear, you've now rated that level of fear that you have around creating your course. I want you now to remember, again, close your eyes, recall a time where you felt really confident. Any time in your life where you felt confident, sure of your decisions, sure of your action. You just knew that whatever you were doing at that time was going to work out. When have you felt at your most confident? Does it need to be big? For me, whenever I think of this, and you're going to laugh, it's changing a nappy. Goodness me, I've changed so many nappies after having 3 children and working in a hospital with children as a children's nurse, or trainee children's nurse, I should say. I've changed so many nappies that I could change nappies with my eyes closed. I'm definitely confident. Doesn't have to be a big thing, guys. Just a time where you felt really confident. I want you to bring an image up in your mind What were you doing? Who was there? How did it feel? How do you move as that confident version of you? Brilliant. Thank you, Fleur. How do you move as that confident version of you? How do you sit or stand as that confident version of you? How did it feel? How did it feel in that moment that you're visualizing it, that memory that you have? How did it feel to be confident? What does that look like? And I want you to go ahead now. You can do this with your eyes open or closed. For me, I find it easier with my eyes closed, but it's up to you. Go ahead now, start shifting your body. Shifting your body, embodying that feeling of confidence. So where do you feel it in your body? Maybe your chest starts to feel open. Maybe you're lifting your head a little bit higher. Maybe you're just super relaxed because you're like, yeah, well, I've got this. How does that confidence feel? I want you to actually start shifting your own real body in the present moment into that confident position. Really feel it, really begin to embody it. Were you smiling? If you were, start smiling now. And what it feels like to be confident and sure of yourself. And then once you've got that, I want you to start tapping on the side of your hand. Holding on to that confident feeling now. And I want you to tap here. And I want you to think about creating your course from this confident energy, from this confident state. Bring all of that confidence back to the present moment. Thinking about that course that you're creating, thinking about that original fear that you had, that problem, the thing that you were afraid of. Taking your confidence with you as you tap on this point on the side of your hand here. And then I just want you to repeat after me. Even though I felt this fear, I felt it in my body, I was worried, and even though I felt it, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And I recognize this fear is holding me back and leading to procrastination. And I'm ready to let it go. And now I'm embodying this confidence. That confident version of me that I know exists, that knows she can do this with ease, that knows she can action anything she wants to action. So I'm taking all of this confidence that lives and resides within my body, and I'm going to create the best damn course that my clients are going to love, and that I'm going to feel great putting out there. And so we're going to tap on the eyebrow point and just continue to repeat after me. I am confident. How did I become so confident? Side of the eye. I know I'm creating an amazing course. Why is my course so amazing? Tapping under the eye. I'm so excited about this. I am so sure that course creation is where I will succeed and thrive. Why am I so good at creating courses? Under the nose now. I'm feeling more and more confident. And I grow confident each and every day. My course will transform lives. And I can't wait. I can do this. Tapping the collarbone point now. Feeling confident. Feeling relaxed. And feeling calm. Under the arm now. Repeating after me. I am confident and I know that I can learn whatever I need to learn to build this course. And anything I don't know yet, I have the capacity to figure it out, find it out. And I don't have to do that alone. I know where I can find support. The top of my head, top of your head, sorry, tapping the top of your head. Feeling more confident. Ready to take action. Ready to just get this course out there and stop procrastinating. Okay. And then for time's sake, you can continue tapping on this for as long as you want, just going through that same sequence. So eyebrow point, side of the eye, under the nose, chin, collarbone, under the arm, top of the head, just tapping on confidence, just confidence, feeling confidence, embodying that confidence from that past event and bringing it into this existing one. Okay, for as long as you like, until you feel that confidence emanating from you and you're ready to take action. And so I just want you to really quickly for me, before we hop off, just re-rate that level of confidence, re-rate that feeling of fear that we rated at the very beginning. So tuning back into that fear you have around creating your course. And I want you now, after having tapped on that, to just re-rate that on a scale from 0 to 10, the same scale, 0 being not afraid at all, 10 being very afraid, worst fear I've ever had. Where is that fear for you now? Go ahead and let us know in the comments. Oh my gosh, there's so much energy flowing through my body. And so I didn't mention this earlier, EFT is a beautiful energy, holistic energy therapy that we can use for all sorts of things. EFT can be used for severe phobias, anxiety, depression, insomnia. It can be used to release limiting beliefs. It can be used to heal from past traumas. All sorts of amazing things. For pain. So where are you sitting on that fear scale? On a scale of 0 to 10 now. If you want to share. And so whilst I'm waiting for you guys to share, and I know sometimes Facebook's a bit behind, it doesn't show me the comments, so I'm going to continue. So I just want to say thank you for each and every one of you who have showed up, watched live, commented, joined in. Fleurs like, I love this, I'm glad, use it every day. I use EFT every single day just for simple things, not necessarily with fear, but anxiety, just to cultivate really good, strong, happy, joyful emotions. And you can borrow any emotion. You can borrow confidence from a past event, but you can also borrow joy. You can borrow happiness. You can borrow I'm just trying to think of something else and my mind's gone completely blank again because I've been talking for an hour and 10 minutes, so I should probably, it's my cue to be quiet. But you can use it to borrow any positive emotion that you want to experience, excitement, joy, motivation. Borrow it from a past event and infuse it into the new one. It's amazing. Feels a 5. And you know what? Any shift. That's beautiful. You're at a 6 or a 7. So you've decreased for 5 and we've tapped for all of a few minutes simply because we didn't have a long time. You can get really deep with EFT. There's lots more. This is just one little technique. Replay. Hey Tess. Replay, love that your child interrupted. It's something we all deal with. Well, many of us, and then worry about. So seeing how totally okay it is validating from the other end. Oh, Tess, I love that. So anybody who knows me, anybody who's worked with me, I'm very, very strict with my children when I'm doing hypnotherapy, when I'm doing EFT practice, and I'm actually working with my one-to-one clients. But my lives, do you know, they're a big part of my life. My children are with me all day, every day, and I'm a single mum. Guess what? They come and say hi. I work with mums, so most of my clients or people that I work with, or all of you lovely people, if you are going to be doing lives and things like this with children, don't worry if they pop in. It's okay, interruptions happen. They love it. They love being on camera. And other people don't mind too much. So yeah, we all deal with it. I'm sure. Thanks for catching up, Tess. So I'm going to hop off now, everyone. Thank you very much for joining in. If you have any questions around mindset at all, any questions or fears that are coming up for you, anything you want to know about anything that I've shown or taught you today, then just reach out to me. Comment under the video and let me know, and I'll check in here and answer there, or just drop me a message into my inbox and I'll be more than happy to have a chat. And yeah, and otherwise, I'm gonna love you all and leave you all. Just to let you know as well that you can always come and experience more EFT. I hope Amanda doesn't mind me sharing this. If she's okay with it, I'll pop a link to the group in there. But I do have a free Facebook group where we often do EFT for all sorts of limiting emotions and limitations that can hold us back. So you're welcome to come and experience more EFT in there. And I go more in depth about what EFT is, how it works, why it works, and all the different techniques that you can use over in the group from time to time. So come and join us over there as well. So that's the Limitless Mums Community Hub, and I will pop a link to that if Amanda's okay for me to do so in the comments. All right, ladies, I love you and leave you. Have a good rest of your day wherever you are in the world, and speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye.